prosperity. A long-time friend of the Muslim world and to oppress people everywhere, in Star Trek terms, he does indeed dare to boldly go where no man has gone before. Like him or loathe him, you cannot ignore him. He is, of course, Mr. George Galloway, MP.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Brothers, sisters, comrades and friends, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You know, the Telegraph and Argus reported the imminent demonstration this evening in one paragraph. No picture, one paragraph, one day. When 40 people recently demonstrated against me, it was front page news for several days, including photographs. I tell you this, the Telegraph and Argus is a disgrace to this great city of Bradford. It is a rag. It is a rag in a racket with the corrupt elements that run this town hall behind me. And I say this, and I've considered this carefully. I'm going to organize a boycott campaign against the Telegraph and Argus. Don't buy it, don't sell it, don't advertise in it. Let's have a decent newspaper in this city, because that one isn't worthy of the title of Telegraph and Argus. It's owned by an American company, by the way, who may begin to ask questions of the editor of the Telegraph and Argus when the sales, which are already miserable, begin to decline still further. The second thing I need to say is this. You know, they made a television program saying they wanted to make Bradford British.
I'll make you jump over.
We said at the time, we've no interest in making Bradford British. It's already British. But we do have an interest in making Bradford a world city. And that's what we're doing with these demonstrations on Burma and on the drone attacks. Bradford is a world city concerned with what happens in the world. And moreover, we're going to bring the world to Bradford. Watch this space is all I'm going to say about that. Because our city badly needs investment and involvement by the world. Because we're not going to get it from the British government, we're not going to get it from the town council behind me, we're not going to get it from Westfield, so we're going to have to get it from elsewhere in the world. That's what I'm working on, and that's what you'll see very soon. The third thing I need to say is this. These killers who are launching these drone attacks are simply murderers. And if there's anything worse than a murderer, it's a coward who's a murderer. And what do you make of a murderer who sits in an office, sends a pilotless plane into the sky, watches it on a television screen, presses a button, and brings death and devastation to unknown women, children and men underneath? He's a coward and a murderer, and Barack Obama is a coward and a murderer. As my sister Yvonne Ridley just gave the facts and figures, we thought George Bush was bad. Barack Obama has now launched 5 times the number of drone strikes that George W. Bush did. and has killed thousands of people, maimed tens of thousands of people, destroyed thousands of homes and other buildings, essential infrastructure in some of the poorest countries in the world. And don't they just choose such wonderful names for their weapons of massive destruction? First of all, they send their cruise missiles, which they call after the American Indians that they wiped out to build their country in the first place. Apache helicopters, Tomahawk missiles, and now the drones are firing Hellfire missiles. Well, I'll tell you who's going to face the Hellfire. The people who's doing the murdering are going to face the Hellfire on the Judgment Day when it comes, and it will come for all of us. Some people ask me, will these demonstrations achieve anything? Well, as Chairman Daoud Islam just said, on the Burma dispute, on the Burma killings, on the massacres of the Rohingya people, our demonstration already did achieve things. First of all, it wakened up the other political parties in Burma to the fact that there was a problem. Second, William Hague is coming here to Bradford to talk to the Rohingya community here about what happened to them. But I'll tell you candidly, even if this demonstration did not achieve anything, at least on the Judgment Day, when we're asked, what did you do when they were killing people in Waziristan? We'll be able to say, we raised our voice, we raised our hands against it, and we cursed it from our hearts, and that is the duty upon all of us. These cowards that are sending these drones into the sky and killing innocents are of course primarily doing so, though not exclusively. They're firing them at Yemen, they're firing them at Somalia, Israel is firing them at the Palestinians, but primarily they're falling on the people of Pakistan. Now, if something doesn't compute here, governments of Pakistan, of both parties, have slavishly followed the policies of the United States for more than half a century. What kind of reward is it for being a slave that your master then kills you in a drone attack? It's time that the government of Pakistan stood up and was counted on this issue, because it's no good saying we're against American drone attacks, but the next time we receive orders from Washington, we're going to follow them anyway. I commend the statement that the chairman of the PTI, Imran Khan Sahab, just made on that screen. And I commend him on his plan to organize a peaceful march into Waziristan. And I call on the government of Pakistan to tell the United States of America, you need us more than we need you. So stop bombing our country, stop killing our people. Imran Khan said, I saw him say it a year ago, about American aid, most of which goes to the generals. In any case, he said, we don't want your money. Well, Pakistan should say to the government of the United States, we don't want your drones, we don't want your bombers, and if you don't stop bombing our country, your ambassador can pack his bags and leave Islamabad, and our relations with the United States are over. Lastly, because I know everybody's getting cold, I was on the BBC today, and they were all mystified about this upsurge across the Muslim world against American embassies and against American interests. themselves, they were saying, over a film. Well, first of all, the film is a filthy, dirty attack on 2 billion Muslims across the world against the Prophet, peace be upon him, and against the religion of Islam. But secondly, it's not just about a film, it's about all the crimes that the United States is committing against the Muslim world already and those that it's threatening to commit. It's about the American plans to savagely attack Iran as they previously attacked Iraq. It's about American support for Israel as it commits daily crimes against the Palestinian people. It's about the American occupation of Muslim country after country. It's about Abu Ghraib. It's about Bagram. It's about torture. It's about rendition. And yes, it's about the drone attacks on Pakistan. So, if they want people to stop hating America, America has to stop killing Muslims in one part of the world after another. I commend the organisers of this great meeting here today, the first of its kind. I have tabled a motion in the House of Commons on these drone attacks. So far, only 9 members of Parliament have signed it, none of them from Bradford. Every one of you has to demand your member of Parliament sign up to the motion to end these drone attacks forthwith. We'll continue this campaign even if we're the last men and women standing. But I don't believe that we will be. Bradford has led the way on this as on so many other things, and it's time now for the rest of the country to follow them. Wassalamu alaikum. Thank you very much indeed for your support.